Cool. Yeah, we're recording now. You just finishing party and hardy at the Halloween thing?
Um, well, I mean, we just went and hung out for a few minutes because like they were about to play volleyball and stuff, and I can't play anything.
Because of the injury?
Yeah.
So what happened?
Um, well, the first collision was I was playing left front and for Kathy in the middle, and a ball just happened to land right between us, and so we both dove. We were down low and both dove, and luckily she had her head up.
Yeah.
So, but because of that, her shoulder pull took this out, and I just so it really didn't move for a while, but it just kind of stunned my nervous system. So, but later on in the next match, in our final match, I got hit from the side, and so just dealing with that right now.
Yeah. Did you see somebody about it? For a little bit of context for everybody listening, uh, this is Jennifer Robeson Scott. I'll give you the full rundown here, but we're talking about her volleyball game that she had 2 weeks ago.
Last week.
Last week, yeah. So she got she was on the silver medal earning team for the Huntsman World Senior Games for volleyball, and she's got some battle scars to prove it.
For
So
the 50s age group.
yes,
So,
but here's the full rundown. We'll give the actual intro now. It's welcome to Gen Pop TV, episode 8. I am your host Sawyer Scott, accompanied by co-host Richard Flom. Today's guest is mother, wife, daughter, personal trainer and track coach, high school and collegiate track and field record holder, interior design aficionado, as you can see from the background, and Huntsman World Senior Games silver medalist, my stepmother, Jennifer Robeson Scott. Did I miss anything?
but remember, I think that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, cool. Um, we'll flesh out the whole all those pieces in a sec. But um, how are you feeling now from all the all the hits you got from the games?
Just dealing with some nerve pain, but
Yeah.
uh, that's been a roller coaster of my world. So this is just
Yeah, but
a battle.
after the victory, um, somehow you feel good enough that you overcome that whatever pain you had. It becomes worthwhile, I would think.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, the girls laughed pretty good because the first collision, obviously my brain was a little foggy, but
Sure.
I just kept playing. So that was good. But yeah, no, I love to play. I love to compete. Nerve pain is just something that I have to deal with. So,
Was it in the neck, like the occipital nerve or something?
hit my lower back this
Okay.
time because when I got hit from the side and my pelvis, it knocked it off kilter. So it's but I have spine problems. So
You have what?
spinal problems. So when
Oh yeah.
I get inflammation or agitation, you know, what do you need?
Well, you've been in athletics all your life, and that all that goes with the territory.
Yeah.
And somehow, as we get older, um, if we continue to do what we love, yeah, find ways to overcome all that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I
So,
only speak from experience because I'm older than anybody on this podcast right now. So
yeah.
we're still
Well,
holding
and
that
that's
record.
it was amazing last week being that I was one of the youngest people at the games because you had to turn 50 within this year. So since I just turned 50, like, and the age groups go all the way up to 80 plus.
You guys are the
So,
same horoscope, I think. You're both August babies.
oh yeah? Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah, yeah. August 14th.
I'm a Leo. Wow.
Uh,
it's the nature of Leo to be aggressive. Yeah.
It's a consistent pattern that I've seen with you guys. But tell us about your background, fitness and otherwise. I gave off a couple of them, and we'll kind of flesh those out, like school record and collegiate record stuff. But even before that, what's your whole background in this journey?
Um, I started dance first when I was like 4 or 5. Um, then went to gymnastics. Well, soccer was in there too. Um, but it competed in gymnastics for a little bit and then moved on to school sports, uh, cross country, volleyball, basketball, track, cheerleading, flag, rifle corps. Um, then went on to compete in track and field in college. And then after that, um, coached track and field and played anything, I used to play a lot more basketball, but now volleyball is my addiction, especially stand volleyball. So, is that what you're
Yeah,
meaning?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And so you coached at UAB,
Yes.
go Blazers.
Hmm. Hmm.
And back in high school, so you got let me look at back at what you had because I messed this up again. But it's you set the high school record for the you probably still hold the 100-meter hurdle record for you said Lake Dallas?
Yeah.
Lake Dallas. And then you held the high jump, but you're not sure if you still do.
Yeah, I haven't looked in so long.
Yeah.
Um, I think I had the 300 hurdle one for a while. Um, I think I had the long one,
Hmm.
but
You were
yeah.
cleaning house. And then into college, you got the collegiate record for high jump for about 20 years.
Well, for UTA,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, yeah. Because we were trying that, and Pat and I were trying to figure that out earlier, like because it wasn't that long ago,
It's all a blur.
that I got beat.
And it was recent, right?
Yeah, I think it was before COVID because it was Andy's last year competing.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah. Hey, I was excited because like I feel like that's a pretty big deal.
I'll say.
Um, but yeah, I was very blessed. I was on a great track team in university. So we won a number of team conference championships, and I had the privilege of winning a number of individual conference championships.
It's very fun. And I mean, these kids, I don't know what they're being fed these days, but it's hard to keep up with them. We went and saw the powerlifting, the Avonkus Houston, the two of us. That's where he competed 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
it's just embarrassing to see people in my weight class and even his weight class. The weight that they can move is insane. And they were beating world records. They're making state records, national records. They were just it's it's hard to keep up with them.
Well, and you know, there's so much more access to information and stuff that you only got from your coaches. Like when I was in college, I mean, the YouTube,
Yeah,
that wasn't, we didn't even have email.
sure.
So, you know, um, later in my college career, and so, now it's like you have access to so much more information and so many, um, more high level people's information and what they do that it definitely gives a whole different edge now. And there's so much more scientific evidence on how to do things that we didn't have that.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I mean, the coaches now control these athletes from a very young age in terms of nutrition, sleep, um, how they run their workouts. Even for me, when I got with Sawyer, I had my own way of working out from old school. And all of a sudden, he started talking things like blocks and, deloads. And I said, what the hell are you talking about?
Right? Yeah. There's
And now, and now he drags me in to make sure I get enough protein in my diet. And he sits there and watches me eat at least one meal a day.
I try to be helpful. Deload is still a work in progress. And
Yeah.
that also it goes to show sometimes we really need to he needs to know that his current block like necessitates a deload, which is fine because if his progress is still linearly building, I'll be a bit more fair, but still periodization is nice.
uh,
Uh, what are,
well,
what's
he has purpose.
what you got to train with a purpose, huh? Full circle, right? You plug that.
Well,
The
well,
listeners don't know what I'm talking about.
well, my purpose is to do what you did and go to Worlds next year and get a medal walking out of there. So,
Yeah, because I didn't know until this year that like you can do, they have, I mean, I thought this was a volleyball tournament when the girls asked me to play. I didn't realize it was like all the events, like a lot of the events. I was like, if I go next year, I might throw the javelin. Who knows?
Please do. That would be so sick.
But you
Okay,
know
so
what?
just to clarify, because I'm not familiar with the Huntsman, let me look this up. There's so many events and games happening now.
Oh yeah. Well,
Not
and
to
this,
even say that I know like any like decathlon adjacent or like Olympic adjacent like sub events, but fill us in.
well, yeah, no, I mean, they just, I have to pull it up here. And,
Okay, so I see the Huntsman World Senior Games.
yes, that's
Okay,
what it is. So, I mean, they have everything like it says archery, basketball, bike,
that's
uh, cowboy action shooting,
that's
disc
sick.
golf, uh, mountain biking, power walking, road racing, shooting, soccer, tennis.
Oh,
Like
this is good. Okay.
one of our 60-year-olds that played volleyball, she won, I think, a gold and a silver in the tennis the week before because it's 2 weeks.
Hell,
Track and field, swimming, volleyball, softball. I know volleyball and softball were the two biggest sports. Rowing, golf, cycling. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. I mean, how fun to just go for 2 weeks and play every.
do it. That would be fun. And I'd
Um,
say like in the 50 plus category these days, or I guess like, not even 50 plus, like 35 plus competitors, there's more and more avenues opening up for high level, near cutthroat competition, which is great to see.
oh yeah.
well, even at the Master One level, the
Yeah.
40 and over, um, my God, the amount of weight that these guys are lifting at
Well, and you also have
40
to
years
realize
old.
that because they're in that generation, like they're not that far from just being out of college. And whereas before they didn't have anywhere to compete, but they also have all the training that we didn't have when we were younger.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like Carlos, the guy that owns the gym where I train and sort of works, just took second in the world in the Master One division, which was pretty amazing.
It's interesting too, because you said the masters for lifting starts at what age?
Powerlifting master starts at 40.
Okay.
You
So we both
go,
made the
you're
cut.
in the open division until you hit, 40 in it has to be your birth year. So if your birthday is in December of this year, you would be able to compete in the 40-year-old division, even if you were 39,
Yeah.
as
It's
long as it's your birth year. Yeah.
it's just interesting. Different sports have different age requirement. I mean, like with the Huntsman, it's 50 for all sports. It's 50 and up. And like one week they do like 50, 60, 70, 80s. The other week they do 55, 65, 75, So, um, but some of these sports like sorry, and jujitsu, like your master's in your 30s, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but the athleticism that goes into stuff like jujitsu and so forth, because of the contact, I would assume they set that bar a little bit lower so they don't lose all the competitors.
it is
Yeah.
cool to see too, like I think we talked about this on the last podcast too, but there's the CrossFit just generalizes into 65 plus, but even those people, I mean, they lack a lot of like lat and wrist and shoulder mobility, but like people like David Hippensteel or those guys, do you follow a lot of those guys? But
Me? No, no.
he all he does is like really high power cleans, but he can still move like 185 pretty well. And he can do like pullovers and muscle ups and all like ring handstands. It's crazy to see that.
That's why I'm in powerlifting, because I can't do any of
Well,
that.
it's just the shoulder mobility. But he was giving me flack the other day because he can still lat pull his own body weight, but I was like, oh, maybe you should consider trying a muscle up one day. He's like, my shoulders are way beyond being able to do a muscle up anymore.
Are you talking about him or me?
But you,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's trying to con me into doing some stuff that may put me out permanently.
what? So what got you into training and coaching from doing your own competitive athletic endeavors?
Well, I I've always known that teaching was my avenue. I mean, I can honestly say I think in the third grade, one day I was just like, I'm going to teach. It's always been. Now, I didn't know what avenue I was going to teach in. I actually have a teaching certificate to like teach in school, but the four walls are a little too claustrophobic.
Sure.
So funny enough, in my sophomore year in college, because I was in the kines department, I was working towards getting a kinesiology degree, um, exercise and sports studies there. Um, and I almost decided to just completely mix it up. And I was really in a debate whether I was going to leave that department and go to get a degree in interior design with a minor in accounting, which doesn't really go together, but they're two things I like. And then somebody asked me for some help that week on hurdles. And so I was coaching them, and I knew right then, I was like, this is what I need to be doing. Like, it doesn't, you know, um, and I feel like when you know what you're meant to do, if you don't do it, you're just wasting your time,
I'm gonna clip
And
that.
since huh?
The the kids say, "Let's clip that." That was a clippable quote.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Um, so it's kind of interesting because it's like I feel like some people when they get upset because they don't know what they want to do, and I'm like, I just look at them and say, then you're basically at Baskin Robbins. You got all the flavors to choose from, and you get to like really like you can go dabble and try and open your mind to all different fields. Whereas like I I could do that, but like I know what my gift is and I know this is what I'm supposed to do is teach in all different manners, like not necessarily in a classroom, you know. Um, so, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be a good coach, you have to be a teacher.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That's
and
when I started off with getting a teaching certificate because I thought, but
Although there's a lot of people out there that call themselves coaches that can't teach worth a damn. So,
I can,
yeah,
yeah, it's, yeah,
it's
it's hard to watch sometimes.
sort of interesting. Yeah, it's not fun when you're going through them to figure out who can actually help you.
Yeah, and also finding ones that work with you, as far as like personality and stuff. I
Yeah,
mean, I've had athletes that, uh, how do I put, you know, a lot of my athletes, like we've been friends for life, that the ones I've coached. But I've had some that like it's been a butting of heads, I guess you could say. But they I sometimes can be that coach that they've never had that puts them on the spot and holds them accountable. And as much as they don't like it, they also crave that. Someone who will look through their bull crap and say, no, if this is what you want to do, this is what you got to do, you know, and not all coaches will. And especially like the parent often meddling and wanting things easier. And that's not what life's about.
yeah. Um, Sawyer and I have an interesting relationship, considering he's 26 and I'm 80. Um, but we've become really good friends,
Oh, yeah.
and we knock heads every once in a while. Um, but he usually perseveres because he'll, he'll go, okay, let's just throw another couple of red plates on there and let's see what the hell you can do. You don't want to deload? Here you go. We'll give you an alternative. And that's a wake up call.
Yeah. Well, and it's good to have someone that has an outside vision because sometimes we get so like here with where we are that sometimes it takes somebody else for us to see, oh, yeah, I can go more.
Yeah. Yeah. On the other side, that's where he's good about it. If I push hard enough, I say, I really think I can get to the mountain today. I don't have to wait till 2 weeks from now.
Right.
He'll give me a shot at it. And if we do, then we'll evolve.
Right.
We'll still do a block, but now we've added 10 or 15% to what
Oh,
we're going
yeah.
to train with. Yeah.
Well, and it's
So,
fun to have clients that you can do that with because like I usually have to get to a point with a client that like I know where they are, like, and I can just ask like certain questions and I know whether because we all know our own bodies better than anybody else. And there's days that like we wake up and we know we're like day to day.
yeah,
Day to
this is
day, I can light things on fire and I
this is
can go.
this is this is the day. Yeah,
Yeah,
the energy's
and
there and it's all
you
there.
know that feeling. So, and it's fun when you have somebody who to work with that understands that when you're not being reckless, but you can feel it. You know you can do that today. So let's go.
Did
Yeah.
uh, did Sawyer disappear? I don't see him around.
You don't see me?
Oh, there you are. Okay, so yeah, and I mean the other side of it is where I think it's really difficult for a coach is, um, you know, they've got to they've got to get you as close as they can to that really good point where you feel really good on the day of competition. And
Yeah.
that's hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so far, he's done a really good job. I've been in two competitions and I've walked away right on top of everything. So, you know, people pat me on the back, but I pat him on the back. He's the guy that got me there.
Yeah. It's teamwork.
And she's
It
done
is.
that for many people as well. She has many people who still she's in contact with that were her athletes and clients. She's led them to many victories. You want to brag about it?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, uh, it's funny because you were saying this. I had thought last month I probably need to like put together a better bio. I just don't.
For what?
Of just like my athlete's accomplishments,
Oh
as
yeah,
well as my own, because like
yeah.
I had to go
Well,
downstairs and find my
it's a
shadow
lot
box
of
with my
details.
medals.
I mean, you easily forgot your three school accomplishments. I'm sure the other things are just as easy to fall out of your head, you
Well,
know?
yeah, because I was sitting there trying to think like how I'm like because like conference championships in college,
Yeah.
like God bless mom, she made a shadow box, so I have my medals down in our bar,
Mhm.
and so I was going through the medals, like trying to figure out like okay, what are these golds, what's the silvers? But the conference championships, I was like trying to look up the archives, and I was like, because it's kind of odd because with track and field, cross country, indoor and outdoor are all separate sports.
Mhm.
So like cross country athletes run three different sports on one scholarship. And you can only win, like for indoor and outdoor, you can only win one conference championship ring a year. So if we won indoor and outdoor, we still only get one ring. So we had years that we won both. Um, but we must have had a year we didn't
Is
because
that
I
still
think
the case, you think? Do
huh?
you think that's still the case?
Oh yeah.
That's that's not
They're not
good.
gonna they're not gonna spend more on us than they have to.
Yeah.
Um, but I think I have to go look at my jewelry box. I think I have
Yeah.
three conference championships. So yeah. And then but the fun thing is um with my athletes is that I have athletes in a lot of different sports because people always ask me like, what do you coach? I say I coach athletes.
Mhm.
They're like, but do you what sport? And I'm like, all the sports. And
Yep.
then I put my athletes back in their sport. So I've sent kids to school D1 with basketball, football, track, um,
Tennis?
tennis. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The
See, I'm
trackless?
bad about this with myself.
I
Yeah,
remember
I've
that,
seen a
sure.
number of tennis players. Three.
Yeah, the
Off the top
trackslers.
of my head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
both Traxlers.
Yep.
Actually, Kendall
Yeah.
and Hannah.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I mean, so let's see, I'm not good. Good. I should be better. Um, but yeah, so I mean, to me, it's fun because it's like I get to take athletes and work on them as a person, and there's in their athletic ability, and then help it increase, then put them back in their sport to where they can be even better. So, and then splash in some, let's make you an amazing man or woman.
Hell
So
yeah.
with all my nuggets of
Sprinkle
knowledge.
that in too.
What?
You sprinkle that in as well. Get
Oh
the life
yeah.
lessons.
They gotta learn the random stuff that helps them in life.
Yep. That's the premium package. Get some life advice.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah. What have been some of your inspirations along the way and this into this career?
Inspiration. Um, well, going back to like I said, we didn't have the access to all the um knowing athletes and stuff. And I grew up without cable. So I never got to watch a lot and know a lot of so as far as that goes, like until I got older, like I didn't have a lot of people that I mean the people I looked up to was like my mom,
Yeah.
being somebody who is so amazingly caring and selfless,
Yeah.
learning how to, watching her and uh admiring taking care of other people. And I
Mhm.
think that developed a lot of my philosophies and how I coach and how I parented and how I spouse. Is that the way to put that?
How to espouse?
how I am a spouse.
Oh yeah, how to spell? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how to make that sentence right.
it's like
Uh,
adulting.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And and just how I I like to love on people.
sure.
I'm the one from the house with the big emotion, and you know, but I think it's helped me in my teaching and coaching.
Who are some of your favorite names in the field? Because were you a Schexnayder fan? That was about your generation. Boo Schexnayder, Charlie
You're gonna
Francis.
kill me right now because remember, like when we play games of like, let's who sang this song and what band is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same way with all the rest of this. Like
yeah. Do you like any of the track coach names? Any ones
uh,
that you like to emulate?
I mean,
Charlie Francis, any of those guys, for
yeah,
sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I learned like reading his book gave me such uh huge insight. I mean, the thing is he should have given me um I'm gonna look this up because as soon as you said his name, my guy flew to my what?
He's a track and field guy.
Yeah, and I totally
I will say,
edited.
I do
Totally
have
edited.
a quick question. Is there any way that you could improve the audio a little bit? It's a little fuzzy.
Like the picture?
No, the audio.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. No sweat. Just asking.
Uh,
You have to clean your ears out a little better,
It's
partner.
my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to find I don't ever use the camera on this. I knew I got it for a reason though.
Yeah. It's meant to be.
You did say you're gonna edit this, right?
Oh,
Oh,
he edits me out of everything,
yeah.
so you
It's
don't have
just gonna
to
be
worry about that.
it's just, I mean, we can edit it out if you want to, but I mean, there's technical difficulties with everything. It's not a major issue unless you want me to.
No, I'm just saying because like where I'm like messing up.
You're not messing
Totally
up.
fine.
You're not messing up.
But
But
Clyde Hart is the one that I really
who is it?
uh Clyde Hart, he was
Okay.
Michael Johnson's coach.
Uh-huh.
He was Jeremy Warner's for a little while, Sonny Richards Ross.
Uh-huh.
Um,
First
he's
name
probably
is Hart, or his last name
Clyde,
is Clyde Hart.
Clyde
Yeah,
Hart.
Clyde Hart. Yep.
He's probably, I would say he's my favorite. Um,
Oh, he was at Baylor.
yeah.
Okay. He's a dapper fellow.
He's a brilliant poem. But that's the
Jeremy
thing is like,
Warner, Daryl Williamson, Greg Houghton. Okay. What are you saying?
yeah. No, I was just gonna say like, it's interesting because I went to one of his conferences and not that long ago. I mean, I feel like there's this huge gap in time with COVID, but it was pre-COVID. Um, that, he was laughing because he was like, people want to say that they came up with something new. He was like, it's not necessarily new. People like you can, the thing in track and field is people, um, they tweak things, they make different menus for warm ups and drills and stuff like that. But it's all the same. Generally, it's the same thing, and
Sure.
it's like you're basically borrowing within everybody within the community. It's not, but
It's not a
he,
complete invention. It's just
right.
an edit or a tweak or an amendment.
But he absolutely changed, I feel like, um, the perception of how to train in different loads and stuff. And because his was run, how did he put it? I think it was run slower, race faster. Because back when
So he was like the 80/20 guy, or
no, um, a matter of as I put it, you got to put gas in the tank.
Sure.
So like in the off season, you've got to be able to train in order to put gas in the tank so that when you're training harder, because it's, it's quantity over quality in the fall, then it becomes quality. But you can't train at that high quality if you don't have gas in the tank, if you haven't
Sure.
built that bank. And he took a different approach on how to build those bases and stuff. And because the thing is like, there was a lot of years where coaches just, I see coaches now that do this that are like every day and go hard. And every day, which you can go hard every day if you're not working the same energy system.
Sure.
If you're working different energy systems or different body parts, depending on what what the areas that you're looking at. But when they're doing the same thing every day and they're training at the same intensity every day, it doesn't work.
Sure.
Like the body can't recover, the body can't build.
Just to clarify, when you say like go slow to go faster, do you mean like the 80-20 sort of like zone 2 rule, or do you mean like for sprinting?
Oh no, for sprinting.
Okay, so you're saying
As
like
in, like he would do 200 workouts, where you would do these workouts on there on a specific time,
okay.
and um, so, but you're running them at 85%.
And I literally have been hearing that from a lot of speed guys. It's like some people run faster at 90% than they do at their perceived 100%.
Well, no, that's not. I mean that, and that's not what I'm saying. It's the
Okay.
fact that like you can't run a workout at 95 to 100% every day.
Oh, sure, sure, yeah.
So you have days that like where he would do like these 200 workouts, which are fabulous. And you would have to run so many of these and you get a specific amount of rest. So like if you're running 30 seconds, you run 30-second 200, you get 30 seconds to rest,
Mhm.
you know, and, not 30 seconds, you get 2 minutes. Um, and, but the idea is that you put enough in the tank that like when you race, your race feels like one of those within there, not 100%. But yeah, no, it's just working on, you can't do everything at 100% every day.
No.
And that's the thing is you can, you work at 85%. You work at, like, you do different levels throughout the week. And depending on what, like I said, what energy system or what it is, but it's different for track. I mean, track to me is one of those sports that is like, um, it's such a base sport because pretty much all sports involve like somehow track relates to it. You know what I mean? Like if
Sure.
in football, if you're playing, soccer, if you're playing basketball, any of those, you know, running is part of it.
Sprinting especially.
Yeah.
And
And if
people
more
say
people actually like got their bodies to be able to sprint, they would be way healthier.
a lot of people are um, starting to realize that too, that sprinting is a different version of the fountain of youth. Once they've gotten over the hump of like generalized strength training and hypertrophy, the next component is that degree of athleticism that comes from like 85+% effort sprints. That's going to be a whole different hack into longevity.
Oh, well, and that's the thing. It's like, and it's, and because people want to run differently depending on what percentage they're running at too. And that was a big, huge thing for me when I'm coaching athletes that like, if we're doing this drill and we're running at 40%, you should still have the exact same form that you're doing if you're running 95%. Because like the whole point is for progression. And so with that said, I mean, I do a lot of the same thing. It's all on progressive level, depending on if they are a 15-year-old or if they're an 85. But, I will do the same. I mean, this 15-year-old might be doing the ladders, like for agility and just footwork, but they might be doing it, we're cruising through that thing. But my 80-year-old might be walking through it, but they're still doing it because they're still getting three-dimensional movement. So it's a matter of but so many people as they get older just look at walking as a challenge, or they're glad that they can walk. You know what I mean?
You
But
said they perceive walking as a challenge?
well, I mean, I perceive walking as a challenge sometimes. What today?
Or you're just saying like activity wise, they can't even do.
They can't, yeah, they can't walk very far. Or they allowed uh different ailments to compound to where it's just hard, you know?
Richard knows about that.
Yeah,
Well, not by choice.
right. Well, yeah, I mean, like, not being able to walk right today is not my choice, but
Well, I had a number of, I went through a whole cancer thing and some heavy duty treatment, and at one point wound up with neuropathy. And that was back in 2012. And they told me that I would never walk again, that maybe with extensive physical therapy with a cane. Um, so that's what they knew.
right.
That, I think I think that some of the problems that people run into, especially if you get injured or have some sort of illness, is the doctors tend to work on the average. The
Oh,
average guy at the average age that walks through the door.
without a doubt.
Yeah. And then they prescribe that way. And the sad part about it is there's a lot of people that believe it,
Oh,
and
100.
and they actually never really come out of it, because once you build somebody into a sedentary way of life and tell them that their capacity is limited, if they believe that enough, it will be.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I'm assuming I know I am a different breed. When they tell me can't, that's the gauntlet just went down.
Well,
It's
she
like
would always say the body achieves what the mind believes. And it's very
that's
true.
that's right, and um, I, I see that all the time. I mean, mentally, I think the mind is the strongest muscle we have in the body. I've come through all this stuff and gotten to where I am, mostly by saying I can, I can, I can,
Absolutely.
and
Well,
yeah,
in a way, because sometimes we don't get to do it like we used to do. We might have to find a modified. Um, but it's a matter of not just sitting down and going, well, I mean, I had a back specialist tell me I would never squat again. I was like, yeah,
well, now you've hit a really hot subject. How about me, Sawyer? When we first met, I couldn't get my hands behind my back and hold the bar.
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's not, I mean, I've seen that. I mean, hell, I've had times where, because, if you've got a shoulder thing or there's different things,
But at 80 years old, when you've had all that background, I spent a lot of time in hospital beds,
right?
a lot of scar tissue. So between Sawyer and another person that I train with, Stephanie, who works on agility and flexibility, um, Sawyer's workouts are hard because he pushes me. Stephanie doesn't push me, she just hurts me. But at the end of it, I can move better.
Right.
And I'm now able to to do what I do. So um I like I said, we couldn't get the bar behind my back. And within 6 months, I'm now competitively squatting full power. I've got all three lifts.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, is it, and like you hit it a minute ago, because how many times do doctors, now granted, you feel for them in the fact that people want exacts and they want like prescription a lot of times. Um, Whereas, they're not looking at it most of the time from an athletic point of view or a longevity point of view. They're looking at it as that right now. Like anytime I see a doctor, I'm like, okay, first things first, surgery's off the table, unless you tell me it's absolutely the only option, you know? And then two, I want longevity. So whatever we got to do to look at that, you know, I'll make sacrifices, change things, whatever, for the longevity, you know. But then, like you said, I mean, you have to work around the things that, I mean, I can only imagine the alterations and the damage that the med alone from cancer did to your body.
Oh, I mean, I had 40 courses of chemotherapy and a complete stem cell transplant. But, um, in terms of, first of all, I think there's a couple of things. I think the average human looks for excuses. They get so far in life and they've been trying to stay thin. They want to look good. They want to do all this stuff. And they have to because they don't have a reason not to. And then you give them an illness and they've got that shelf they can jump off on. And now I have a reason why I'm overweight. I have a reason why I'm not
I see
healthy.
it.
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
I got sick. And so I think that happens to a lot of people. Um, that's why a lot of my contemporaries are, they certainly don't move like me. They don't look like me. It's their mind isn't the same as mine. I haven't really lost any steps, but I owe that all to the fact that I've continued to work out and move on. And now my doctors say to me, they've suddenly had this like eureka phase and said, the secret to longevity is retaining muscle mass because you lose 1% of it every year after you're 30 years old. And if you don't rebuild that by the time you're 70, you become frail, you fall down, you break bones. And then your life is so miserable, you don't want to live anymore. And that's why a lot of people, they get in a walker, then a wheelchair, and then they're gone. And um, I mentally, I've just never been ready for that kind of thing. To me, every time I've gotten sick, it's become a massive challenge to get back to where I was.
well, that's the thing is that it's like I feel like so many people don't, they just assume that as they get older that like sitting in that recliner at night watching TV is the way to go. You know what I mean? And not moving at all. You know what I mean? And then I go to like this tournament last weekend and you've got convention centers full of 70 and 80-year-olds out there playing volleyball.
Oh, yeah. I've got a guy I play pickleball with that plays international volleyball. He's like in his late 70s,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
been doing it for years. And I've watched him jump and move, and
Oh, they play.
yeah. And he came to me 2 years ago. He was really upset because um, they they didn't think that his mobility, his ability to jump and come down safely was okay. So they weren't going to let him play.
Who?
And
Doctors?
yeah, no, coaches. And so he went on this path of box jumping and plyos and the whole thing. And I saw him about 2 months later. I said, "How's it going?" He says, "Yep, I'm on the team. It's all good."
Good for him.
Yeah. So, um, I think it's up to all of us when we get to a certain age to sort of reach down and try to drag people along with us. I do it whenever I can. Um, and then, but as long as I've been I've always been involved in athletics all my life, and I've lifted weights all my life, but mostly the weights were an accessory to whatever sport I was doing,
Right,
get in shape and then
right.
I could do it better. And running was the same thing, but uh, now, I with all that what I feel is knowledge and experience, then I find somebody like Sawyer, and I'm not being patronizing, but he's built enough where I have confidence in him and I actually listen to him. In the beginning, I was working out 6 days a week and maybe sort of kind of off on a Sunday. And he said to me, "You got to rest more because we're getting stuck. You're not giving your body a chance to recover." So he took Wednesdays away from me.
Those are fun.
and and then that's Sunday. So I'm down to five, and the fifth one is working out like on the agility and so forth. So I'm not really maximizing any pressure on the muscle mass. It's a whole different thing. But I'm doing better. In the beginning, I argued with him. What I would do is, I belonged to another gym also where I first met Sawyer,
I
and
already
I
know.
was just, and
Story.
I would just go there and work out
You
with my
said
buddies, and they were doing all accessories. They weren't doing anything that helped me do the three lifts that I was doing.
This is when I would look at my athletes and go, "You have 23 hours to screw up the hour I just gave."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he would catch me. I'd come in on Thursday, and he'd go. He'd give me an assignment and I'd start lifting. He said, "Well, all right, what did you do yesterday?" And I said, "Why?" He says, "Because you look like shit right now." So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like it's kind of in that same idea, but we used to laugh when I coached the college because they would you'd listen to other coaches, they would use running as punishment,
yep.
which I never have understood that concept. Um, and they would say, "Well, don't y'all?" I'm like, "No, because we're not going to mess up our own athletes."
Yeah.
Like, did you forget that running is our actual sport? So why would I mess up my own training plan by having them run?
Well, would you punish them in the exercise sense at all then?
No,
No, right?
no, no, that's not true. Did one time. Uh, we had to get a point across, and it worked.
Was it with running?
Um,
Was it with running?
it was with running, but everybody on the team except for the ones that did the infraction had to do the running,
Awesome.
and the problem was solved in 2 days. So, I feel like that's the only time when I was in charge, but that was different circumstances. We were having people being stubborn, not doing what they're supposed to do.
You're
So,
saying you were an intern then, or you're a coach?
oh no, that's when I was coaching.
Okay.
I was thinking that that's the only time I can think of when I was in charge of, because there's been times over the years where somebody outranked me or um, when I did internships or stuff like that, like where I wasn't in charge, that I would have to be a part of a program that would run kids for punishment. But it's the same kind of sense as what he's saying that like, you kind of trash the training cycle by throwing something in. But I've just never, plus the fact that like, I want people to always love being active. I don't ever want activity to be used as a punishment.
Well, I had a swimming coach. I swam in high school, and I was pretty good at it, but I just never grew to 6'6" with big hands and feet. So, at the end of it, they opened up a big competitive swimming forum in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I got in the eighth lane. They brought the high schoolers up. We got to swim in the also ran lane, where all the splash comes off the side. And I
Okay.
was swimming distance. I was a 1,500-meter guy, and there was a woman that got up on the blocks next to me, and I was 5'9" at the time, a little taller than I am now. But I looked up and I went, wow. And I was halfway through the event when she lapped me. And she didn't win the race. And I said, you know what? God has decided that this was not my forte.
Yeah.
um, sometimes, I mean, if you weigh 150 pounds, it's real tough to be a linebacker. So,
When you're 5'7", it's really hard to be like a professional high jumper.
correct.
I
So,
think I maxed out my ability there, but at least I did that.
I think, uh, regardless of circumstance, I think that is also what makes a great coach. You don't always have to be the star athlete with the great genetics to really focus on not just iterability, but relatability and like proper communication. Because it mostly comes down to not just like iterability and repeatability, but results, right? And just because you don't have 6'3" frame, the broad shoulders, the big ass, doesn't mean you can't do some real harnessing with other people.
Absolutely.
So it's good to know that stuff. And there are plenty of people. I'm blanking, but there's plenty of even NFL tier coaches. There's one in particular that I'm blanking on. I don't think it's Belichick. I think that he's got a lineup behind him. What are his accomplishments football wise?
Belichick was with the Patriots, won a million Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Is
Come
that who
again?
I said he's the
No,
one
I'm
that
saying what were his actual like his personal accomplishments in football?
as a player?
He was
I
a with the he
yeah,
was
as a
with the
player,
Wesleyan. He was a center tight end. Yeah.
really? Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't even know. I only knew what he did as a coach.
Yeah. But he primarily just like starting in 75, he was a coach.
Mhm.
And he just went on from there. 71 to 74 he played. And that's his legacy. So, I mean, even same thing for Tom Brady. I mean, he is a star, but it's primarily
He's a
mental.
phenom. He understands the game. It's incredible.
yeah,
It's great to see that stuff. Um,
yeah. We see that like when we're training Carlos, the guy that came in second, in the world,
my
the guy
boss.
that owns the thing. He'll walk by, and you don't think he's paying any attention to anything that's going on in the gym, but out of nowhere he'll walk by and drop like a little pearl and say, "Why don't you try this?" And it's magical how it works.
Nuggets of knowledge.
I mean, really good stuff, where you're beating your head against the wall trying to figure out how to overcome something.
Oh
And
yeah.
he goes by and goes, do this. And then turns his back on you and walks away. He doesn't even want to see if you're following his instructions. If you do, fine. If not,
It's a gift, you
yeah.
know, but it's and that is so fun to actually have someone around that will do that because so many times if people don't know people's accolades and this and that, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to even um, be given those. Does that make
Sure,
sense?
sure.
So when you have someone that you know that you know that those nuggets of knowledge are of value, it's so nice when they're willing to give those gifts. Because
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because
And
there's a lot of people out there that can give their knowledge and it's not necessarily knowledge.
Say that again.
when I met Sawyer, I could lift a whole bunch of weight. but nothing that would work competitively.
Mm. Yeah.
And so I went to him specifically to learn how to deadlift. I had something, I hadn't planned on getting into powerlifting altogether. I planned on being the best deadlifter and going to one of these offshoot organizations and, breaking whatever they called their world record. And then, I have the kudos.
Right.
So, from the very beginning, he told me everything I was doing wrong. But to do it right felt so strange to me that I just went ahead and would ruin my back. I mean, I was lifting a whole lot of weight with my back and not my legs. And it took him, sorry, what did it take? 7, 8 months before you finally got me to use my legs?
Yeah, I mean, even the concept of the slack pull took a long time and straight arms and stuff. We're still working on straight arms, which, um, there's plenty of people that I've seen that do make lots of exceptions of form and are still incredibly successful. There's this one uh, SNC coach that I like to follow called Austin Yoakum. Have you watched any of his stuff? He's like just one of
No.
those more niche accounts. I call it the Yoakum snatch because he is a complete meathead through and through. And he can snatch over 225. He can snatch like maybe 250 right now. But when he first
K?
started out,
250K?
no. He can snatch like 250 pounds.
Okay.
But when he does it, he goes up like this, like he catches it like this, but he lands at a full squat and then he just presses it out from there. There are even times when he like throws it up and catches it on his head, like throws it, which obviously I don't condone that, but
Well, and you
it's
can't, that doesn't
funny to
even
see.
count in competition.
Well,
So
he
you were
doesn't
doing
compete.
competition.
He just does it for,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was like,
No. Here, I'll see if I can find it because it's really funny to see. But
hey, Austin Yoakum?
Jochum.
Oh, I totally murdered that. Wait a minute.
Yeah, you would never guess. Let me see if I can find it because it's very funny to see. Here's one.
Oh, okay. Here.
This is the power. This is the mid. Is he just doing powers? Oh, not bad.
Yeah.
It's transformed. So this is 275 power. Um, I'm trying to see if I can find what he did because he did a
I just don't
really
know
good.
why he's keeping his arms bent.
Sorry.
I just don't know why he's keeping his arms bent.
He's a
Like you were
meathead. He gets
saying.
excited. Let me see if I can find.
Mhm.
Here's one. As we go into it.
There we go. Wait.
It's funny to see that.
Oh my gosh.
This one works too. These just pulls. It might be. But he does a good job of it. And it's obviously come a long way. But there are certain as long as your frame and structure is resilient enough and robust enough, like you wouldn't do that with a beginner or even an intermediate. But
Right.
with like a pretty robust frame and musculature, they can handle the progression because they usually the most important thing to them is like moving up in weight. And I think that's the biggest like I think uh line that I toe with Richard is that we can achieve things even if like perfect form is a little bit lagging. So the slack pull, has taken a while. Keeping the arm straight, still taking a while. Really getting that leg drive is taking a while, but we're still moving up. So
Well, and that's the thing is like you hit it right there that like sometimes it like when the weight is the biggest goal, like I can't tell you how many times like especially being a CrossFit and watching people that
oh yeah. Oh
didn't
yeah.
really I'm like I would practically well, I'm not gonna say beg, but like I would look at some of these guys and just go, look, like honest to God, just take some weight off the bar.
Sure.
Get yourself comfortable. You'll be able to send it back up. I mean, it's like when I'd work with guys, I can't tell you how many, but like football players, like showing them how to use levers and how to work and like, okay, bench, take some weight off the bar. Let's do it correctly. And then
Yep.
next thing you know, you're lifting way more than you were before. But keep doing this and you're not going to get where you want to go, but that's such a hard concept for people to let's do less,
Yep.
get it right, then we move it forward.
And I have that with another guy that I work with, because he's a big chest bouncer when it comes to bench. So I have him do like 3-second pauses as punishment. You know,
Like having people do 3-second pauses on their squat, and then you
yeah,
realize real quick, maybe I'm not as stable as I thought I was.
sure. Yeah. And it's, people are like, oh, well, I move more weight that way. And it's like, yes, you move more weight now, but if we move up maybe 20 pounds, you're not going to be able to get it off your chest. You completely lose all tension from the drive. You have no like real control, no leg drive from there. You got to maintain that, and then you can move up from there. You're
Crushing
going to
my
plateau real quick.
Yeah, we're I'm working on giving Sawyer heart attacks with my squat because I've gone into this halfway down drop
He wants
at
to be like
high
a
speed.
weightlifter.
the what?
He wants to use the stretch reflex for those. You've seen like the Olympic weightlifters that like dive bomb their squats to use that bounce to like to rebound them out. So he's working on that too. Have
Well,
you?
you kept giving me shit about not getting enough depth, so
Yep.
I've and lingering too long. So I went from the ridiculous to the sublime. So
We'll
Oh
call it
my
that.
God.
he always gives me cross eyes when I say to him, I know I got depth because I heard my knee pop.
I've seen so many different faces in the last like 2 minutes from you, Mom.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. If I could, I will never win a poker game.
No, no, no. It's totally funny to see that.
I,
I feel the same way on the inside, where like as a coach, you're just like,
yeah, your father gives me hell all the time that like everybody always knows where I am.
yeah.
It speaks all my words for me. But yeah, yeah, I still haven't learned the stone faith, stoic faith.
You don't do any CrossFit stuff anymore, right?
Do I go to CrossFit? No.
Yeah.
That depends on what you mean because like when I first went to CrossFit, I went to CrossFit because I didn't have my Olympic lifting weights yet.
You didn't have
And I didn't have my Olympic lifting weights yet. We didn't
the
live somewhere
bumpers.
where I have you
Yeah,
know, a garage gym.
sure.
Um, so that was the only place in the city that I could get into that
Yeah.
had Olympic lifting weights. So now it was an interesting thing when I went there and everybody's like, oh my gosh, what CrossFit did you come from? How do where'd you learn all this? And I'm like, I didn't learn any of this from CrossFit.
Yeah.
And so
It's funny that
it,
their minds even went there.
oh yeah, I mean, like literally one of the ones I was at, one of the owners was there. I'd never met him, and we were doing a clean workout,
Yeah.
and I was cleaning, and he was like, "Wow, where did you come from?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
And this was that Spencer?
It was Spencer.
Yeah, it was.
And and he was asking like, "Where did you?" I was like, I did not learn this in a class.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's always been interesting to me that like being a track athlete, I've always trained via nervous system. I mean, energy systems
Sure.
and according to your nervous system and recoveries and all this stuff. And so going to CrossFit was a whole different game that like people they built a community where everything was associated with if you did this kind of training, that it was CrossFit. And I'm like, I've been doing this before CrossFit was invented. So I always ask that question is like, well, I'm not sure of what realm you're asking me of what type of workouts because I've never associated any of the stuff I do except for the testers.
Well, what I mostly mean is like WODs and Metcons and stuff. And like even and so here's the thing, like, yes, like the cleans and stuff are considered like weight room, like S&C, but like you didn't really ever like incorporate like gymnastics or anything like that, or like high rep like dumbbell work. That's kind of what I mean by like CrossFitty stuff. You don't do much of that sort of stuff anymore, right?
Um, like, okay, so say again, do I do gymnastic stuff? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I do dumbbell work? Yes.
Well,
Um,
in the Metcon sense is what I mean. Like for yourself, do you still do that?
and define what you're asking me. Like, give me an
Like
example.
Metcons, like WODs, like Fran or Grace or Isabel or any of
Okay, so you are talking about that. That's what I'm trying to clarify.
yeah,
You're talking about like because the testers and stuff, I think they're great. I have not done any of them in a while.
yeah. And not just testers, but like any sort of Metcon style thing where it's gonna be like just like, quick.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a fan of the Filthy 50.
Sure.
Um, I don't, I do a modified version. Um, but there's different workouts like that that I always like to throw in. Um, with, just the stuff I had going on last year and into this year with health and movement and stuff, like I haven't been able to do nearly what I used to on that stuff. So I just play more. Um, so I've been playing more than training. But and volleyball ends um in the next 2 weeks. So this fall we'll be getting back into a little bit more of that kind of stuff. So I like that stuff. I feel like it has its place, but yeah, I just was trying to make sure we were on the same page of what you were at.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Are you do you have any names or personalities that you like that are more like in the modern fitness space? Because we've talked about big names before. Are there any big names that stand out that you like to follow or recommend for people?
mm, no, because I'm that person that like I don't like I honestly, I mean, I know I follow on like Instagram a number of different people of different areas. Um, but mine goes from everything from people with disabilities
Yeah.
to gymnastics to sand volleyball to, because I like to look at, um, one, I like to watch other professional athletes and see the movements they're doing or see what their coaches are having to do, which a lot of them it's hard to find their workout stuff. But I just try to really keep a open mind of movement in general.
Yeah.
Like anybody. I will just sometimes get on social media or even just the internet or YouTube or whatever and just go for searches for um I'll pick a topic and then just start looking and seeing. And if I see somebody that I picked up a couple of little, because I'll watch any um, video, because even if I find one thing that makes me want to tweak a movement I already do, or add something to my arsenal, a toolbox, um, then sometimes I'll follow them. But I don't go out of my way to watch anybody specific. Does that make sense?
Sure. I just asked because like there's the big like they call him the plyo guy, Matt McInnes Watson. I don't know if you've heard that name before, but he's like the big plyometrics pioneer of like, modern day stuff. Obviously there's plenty of
Matt McInnes.
Matt, yeah, Matt McInnes Watson. Um, he has a lot of cool stuff that I like to follow that you might like. Um, I'm gonna see if I can find, there's a specific like little chart that he uses for like yielding versus overcoming versus deep tier versus light tier plyometrics. He's got this big like chart of what to use and when to use it and like to what degree. That's really helpful for incorporating. He's got like a cool little matrix that he uses.
Nice.
Let me see if I can find his actual video because I liked it.
Yeah, because I mean, and that's the thing is because it's hard for me because like I watch things and like I said, I'm open to like just see different styles, different everything because there's so much more stuff out there.
oh yeah,
Um, uh, but there's a lot of people that do a lot of things in different areas that don't necessarily, I don't say I don't necessarily agree with, um, sometimes how it's implemented. Or the problem is that people think, okay, plyometrics, well, we should all be able to do that, but they don't look at progression. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Yeah.
And that's a big one for me because, like I said, I mean, I'll work with people all levels. Um, but it's all about where are they? I'm trying to think of, like Joey Burke. I was so focusing.
Joey Burgles,
Yeah,
the
I like
SMU
him.
guy,
So what?
the SMU guy,
Uh, is he at SMU now?
Joey Burgles.
He was at Tech for a while.
I think he's at SMU because there's a guy that I follow. His name's Anthony Cockrell that I think is under him, but he's in Dallas. Yeah, I think is he's
Oh, I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
isn't it?
interesting. Yeah,
Go
I've
go
been following him for years.
go hit him up. But yeah, I mean, he's a huge name and he does some crazy shit. A lot of the stuff that he does is overcoming isometrics for tendon health.
Well,
He,
oh, sorry. Go
what were
ahead.
you saying? You
No,
go.
go ahead. Well,
I was just gonna say I'm trying to get to see if that'll help Richard because tendons are very finicky, obviously, and a lot of people do that like long tier, like 30 to 45-second overcoming isometrics because that really kind of digs into the connective tissue and that tendon, and the tendons respond better than that than just like dedicated strength training. So we're trying to see if that's a little bit more helpful. But what were you saying?
oh no, I've been following him for, 'cause I feel like he was at Tech for a while.
Well,
Uh,
I'm the first thing that pops up on the page is tech.
yeah.
But I've
Okay.
seen kids in SMU shirts, and he tags himself at SMU all the time. So
Yeah. So I mean, obviously his thing says he's in Dallas, but it goes back to like you watch this, like so many people are like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that with like these kids and stuff. And I'm like, kids are more resilient than we think they are when it comes to like their elasticity and
oh yeah,
flexibility. But at the same time, you do have to be smart with age group stuff. But
8-year-olds doing Cossacks. Well, this isn't anything crazy, but is she gonna go over? This is nothing crazy, but
oh yeah, but I mean, but how many people couldn't do that right there?
sure.
Yeah.
Not me.
The bench pistols or bench like shrimp squats and stuff. Um, his one of his guys, I don't know what to call him. I don't want to say that he's an intern because he's not. I think he's the women's volleyball SMU, yeah, director of volleyball sports performance, not just women's, but he does some crazy stuff too. Anthony Cockrell, he's at SMU. Um, he's doing so. This is even yielding isos for his girls.
Oh yeah, that's the SMU chick that's got a 40-inch vertical.
You know her?
Do I know her?
Who said who's?
I know of her.
Oh, this girl, the 41.
That girl that was just doing that right
Oh,
there,
Mia Silva.
40-inch vertical.
Yeah, right
Like
here.
there's like NFL and NBA players and stuff that are all like shouting out to this chick.
I didn't even notice that.
She's crazy.
That's insane.
I mean, obviously she's not crazy. Her ability is crazy.
Yeah.
That it. I mean, I want to say she's 5'11".
Oh wait, no. I'm sorry. I think Mia was the one that recorded it. Her name, the girl is, I think Natalia Newsom.
Yeah.
Natalia Newsom. Yeah. 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 Here's the 40-inch approach jump. Yeah. And she's 5'10".
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah.
And all the guys that I follow are like replying to this, like, wow, Jason Roger, um, this guy, I don't remember his name, Chongqi.
Like you should look it up later and just watch some of her like actual jumps with a volleyball net. Like
Yeah.
it.
My other guy that because I bought his mentorship course, so I'm like I talk to him all the time. His name's Angus Bradley. He's this Australian guy that I like a lot. he's a big GPP guy. I mean, he even like is using the term a lot for his own brand. His the name of his brand is General Physical Preparation, but he's got a lot of cool stuff that I like to follow too. Um, um, or no, type in General Physical Preparation because that's his actual page that he uses.
Okay, there's an ad at it on his page.
But he has cool stuff, quick snatch learn, to implement gymnastics, all that stuff. Cool methodologies. Um,
Thing is, when you get back to the basics of movement, gymnastics,
oh yeah.
track,
Mhm.
like you start with those and all of a sudden people can do more.
Yeah, and that's his big thing is with GPP, if you hit all of those like minimal level, or like not like minimal, but like if you hit the baseline stuff of like being able to sprint, being able to like jump and lifting moderately heavy, so many other worlds open up, whether versus just being, a brick shaped power lifter or um, an unstable sort of runner, which not I'm not saying that runners are unstable, but being able to move mass. Will Rattel is a good one too that I like to. He's a monster. He's like a 5'10", 230 guy, but he moves some really cool weight. He was a lineman for I'm blanking, but he played on he played
ROTEL.
Ratelle.
Hmm, Dude's
Yeah.
got a huge neck.
Yeah, he's a Haas. His program's called the Haas program. But he's a big concurrent training guy, so he'll throw a little bit of everything, not a little bit of everything, but he'll put multiple modalities into a single day. So he'll do something explosive, then he'll do like his heavy main lift and then his two accessories. And seems to work pretty well. But okay. Yeah, cool stuff. Internet's awesome.
Right?
But I'll just sit and just scroll through their stuff and be like, oh, I didn't know about that. Especially with like Joey Burgles doesn't do a lot of educational stuff that I've seen, which is unfortunate because, well, I say that I don't know if it's just because he has everything behind like what do you call like seminars and stuff, but um, oh, you know what? I take it back. He's got mobility drills,
Right. But you also have to realize that his job is what?
coaching
Yeah, where?
at SMU.
Right. So their progress is top on the list right now.
Their progress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like for instance, um, Dave, I believe his last name. He was the throws coach at SMU forever. And I mean, the amount of national athletes he took in the throws. And I got to listen to him at a conference the year after he retired or whatever. And he was like, well, since I don't have to worry about giving out too many
oh,
tidbits
so
so
you
that
like
my,
trade
oh,
secrets and stuff.
yeah, because
That's what
it's
you
like
mean. Okay.
he would always like do these um, conferences and stuff, but they're always holding back those little tidbits. And I remember
Sure.
sitting in that session and he was giving some things that I was like,
Yeah,
that just literally put puzzle pieces in place that
sure.
changed how I coach things. But he wasn't given those before because no matter what, he still needed his team and his athletes to
Yeah.
have that edge.
I didn't think about that. It shows you how much I know. Oh,
Well, I mean, like there's one of the girls that was one of the best in the world in pole vaulting. Her husband coached her, and he's like, I will not coach other people until she is through. I won't give all the secrets until she's through, and then I will think about it then.
here's another good podcast, by the way. Coach 'em up. Um,
I
it's
like that.
Tim Riley and this guy Zach Zillner. He's the coach. He's the women's volleyball coach for UT. I think that's what his title is. But yeah, that's also a good one. Um, Richard, I apologize. You've been sitting and taking this
I'm
nerd
just
out for a long
I'm just
time.
I'm just watching the family affair, you know.
This is our full-on nerding out.
You're
Are
gonna,
you?
gonna make me have to, I'm gonna have to go through my, um, list of who I follow and look for
Yeah,
you, see what I can find.
yeah.
Oh, by the way, sorry, we're on for 12 tomorrow, right?
I have you down for the time that is not 12.
Oh, what time do you have me down for?
3.
Wait a second. You didn't say that we were going to 3 every day.
I asked if we could.
No, you didn't. You asked if we could go to 3 on Friday.
We can absolutely do 12 tomorrow.
I guess we could do 3. I
I apologize.
don't know what I mean, will that break your schedule up if
Oh, that's
you
that's fine.
don't?
That's fine.
12's good?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you have right after that? A 1?
Yeah,
You have a 1 right after that
yeah,
at the same place.
yeah.
Oh, okay. What do you have after your 3?
Nothing.
I'm gonna let Nala info.
Um, it's a good thing we talked.
Yeah, I was gonna confirm, but
Nala
yeah,
had
if 3 p.m. works moving forward for both days. I mean, I would appreciate it, but if not,
Um, I just hate working out that late.
no, that's fine. We can do noon
Um,
or 2.
or 2,
Yeah,
noon or 2. All right. Um, we could try 2 if you
okay.
want to do 2. You sort of ease me into 3.
Yeah, let's do it.
I just don't want that the platform to be gone when we get there.
Yeah, I'll ask about that too.
how many platforms do you have?
1. Yeah, it's a hot commodity, and 3 p.m. is usually the prime spot. So, but anyways, I got some more questions for you.
Okay.
What have been some of the greatest challenges of your fitness journey?
Um, that's a big thing on this one. Well, I'll start with bad DNA.
What do you always say?
What do you mean?
God made you a little bit more special than
Yeah,
everyone else.
I got a little creative with me.
Got a little creative.
A little creative. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, there's no doubt that my DNA has uh not been, it has been an amazing thing on one hand and very counterproductive on the other.
Sure.
You know, so overcoming that, especially with the spine, it might be, it's been that's been a huge challenge.
Mhm.
Uh, this fall is hopefully a good learning and strength. Um, so maybe I can encase my spine,
Encase your spine?
encase it. I keep saying I'm going to create a turtle shell.
Oh yeah. And you had 2 vertebrae fused together?
Oh no, no. In fact, if I could make it out of this lifetime with never having anything fused, I will.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, no. I am in advanced stages of a degenerative disc disease in my paracervical and lumbar. I have a multitude of herniated discs, um, lacking in nerve canal in the lower part of my back a lot. Hence why, like right now, it's so inflamed. It just creates a lot of issues down the leg. Um, bone spurs, you know, all kinds of things. So yeah, and my feet are really special. Um, so yeah, I mean that's if I have to say that that has been a huge challenge just because I mean, people are always like, are you sure you should be doing this? And I'm like, you know where I'd be if I wasn't being it? I'd be in a wheelchair or I was done. I mean, I'm in so much, even if I'm in pain like right now, I'm in more pain when I'm not. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Yeah.
You just start now. But
Motion is lotion.
right?
Yep.
Um, you know, been challenge always time, you know, as I preach to y'all all through growing up, your most valuable commodity on this earth is time.
Sure.
And you know, you go through phases of life where different things are pulling you in different directions. So time has always been, there's been seasons of life where everybody else has had more of my time when it comes to taking care of their bodies than I've had on. But so I try to do the best I can with that one. And recovery, because dear Lord, every year you get older, like that is, uh,
I'm gonna start laughing in a second.
you know what I'm saying? Like when I'm sure that you can think about what your recovery rate was when you were Sawyer's age, what it was when you were my age, and what you feel now. And it took me getting the last couple of years for me to realize that if I had to take a day off because my body says no, that's okay. Because sometimes, I mean, because I'm pretty in tune with my body, and sometimes with my nervous system and everything else is like knows that if I want to go challenge it today, um, I could put myself out for the next week where it is. But that doesn't mean that I don't do my mobility or different things like that. Uh, I very rarely make it out of a day where I'm not doing something. It might not just be an organized game or an organized workout. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
I try to every morning when I take Nala, I do mobility while I'm throwing the ball at her. And so which is it, that and all, doing all the things to help with the recovery so that you can actually do more. Because there are some weeks when I might play a little much and you get to a certain point and your body's like, we need a second to catch up, you know, when you feel that different level of exhaustion. So, um, golly, if I had your recovery rate, Fire, I mean, just enjoy it. It will always be there.
I'm cherishing the years right
It's
now.
astonishing to me how often I hear someone who's in their early 20s talk about how tired they are. And I'm like, you don't even know what tired means yet.
Yep.
I don't think at that age, you just went and went and went. Like we would play, so we couldn't play. I don't know. It's different now.
I'm cherishing it. Uh,
Do.
so we talked about a lot of your big achievements and such, but what else have been some of the most rewarding aspects of your fitness journey?
That's my journey. You know, I feel like the community I've built in different realms has been a massive um, reward for doing the things I do. I mean, like I have different communities just with the different places I play and stuff like that. And so just having like these groups of people, you know, I think that's a huge reward for being and having people who are like-minded and want to keep progressing in life and not, you know, wanting to get off work and just go have a beer.
Sure.
Not that there's something wrong with that, but it's not a. I'll have a beer in between my set.
And I've seen this a lot more these days. The vice of my generation or the coming generation isn't even alcohol or drugs. It's when it's not some sort of like wellness thing, it's like steroids uh, and vaping. So it is really weird to see that, but in a lot of other ways, a lot of people are less inclined toward more destructive habits, even though steroids obviously are very destructive in their own right.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I mean, steroids are always a topic because you sit there and go, okay, what are you using for? How, I mean, because the fact is, recovery rate. We'll go back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what steroids create an incredible recovery rate,
Yep.
which allows you to do all the other stuff. So, I mean, if we could find another way that's not as destructive on the body.
Eating properly, sleeping, drinking water. But
Yep.
those are helpful. But
Well,
what are some anything else you wanted to list off from
uh,
the rewards,
oh,
rewarding aspects?
my award.
Your most rewarding aspects of your fitness journey?
Um, I mean, honestly, and I guess it's not, it's part of my fitness journey because it's my athlete, but just
Mhm.
being able to uh, watch at the time kids that, you know, especially when they come to me and say, like, oh, I want to do the best I can in high school. I'm not necessarily, uh, it'd be amazing if I could go to college running or jump, play basketball or whatever it was. Uh, but I just want to do what I can do now. And then to watch them get to go be D1 athletes, like that's pretty fun. And just watching people just like progress in themselves and realize that there's so much more that like if they could trust the view of what somebody else and understand that like as you go through your fitness journey, which I'm sure that which you can understand, like, you have like as I've told you many times, like, there's a fog here. You can't see past that. I can see out here. Like when you're younger, we say this all the time. Like, I know that you can only see what you can see, but I can see beyond that.
Sure.
And share that ability and show people like um where they can go. Because I knew you had that other level. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so being able to do that, that's been
And those kids don't have that concept or that understanding of where people start. You've seen where people have started,
yeah. And you
and
don't
it's
know. No.
not where everybody expects.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's I don't know. I just think it's cool to get to watch people like when the light bulbs start turning on and realizing the connections and me, I like to more like Miyagi people and not I have just trust me, this is what we're working on, and we put the next puzzle piece, the next thing they know they're doing something they didn't realize they could do. And that's fun. It's fun to have people trust you enough to know that like you're gonna guide them in the right direction,
Sure.
and that goes back to the community. I mean, Lord have mercy, how many of my athletes now have babies and are like, my girls from UAB are and they're starting to turn in their 40s.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
It's a
But
weird.
I remind myself of when I get to this age.
Yeah.
Like, get it. So I don't know. It's fun to me because then it's like it gives me chances to constantly improve myself, too. So I just like the challenge.
So we've covered a lot of your fitness stuff and your coaching. You did a lot of mothering and tutoring and interior decorating and coupon clipping,
Yeah.
and budgeting. How do you balance all of that?
I when you had mentioned that earlier, I was like, and I feel like the best way I can put it is that I got to. I didn't have to. I got to. It's like when the kids would complain like, "Oh, I have to go to school." I'm like, "No, you get to go to school. Like you get to go to school for free. Like in this country, they just give you education if you'll just take it." And so I think that I try to approach so many things in my life that like I get to, even in the times that were really hard, three teenagers in the house and running around with my head cut off and doing all this stuff. And it's like, I got to go home and cook dinner. No, I get to cook dinner. I have a fridge that's got food in it that I get to cook for my family. I get to nourish them. I get to love on them in different ways. So I just try to balance life with I get, you know, when I, cause let's get real, not everybody loves to pay the bills, you know, but instead of trying to make that into a chore, I just think of it, okay, I have money in my bank account. I get to pay bills. Like I'm not having to do the other side of the fence of where I'm going. How am I going to do it? You know what I mean? So just trying to put perspective on everything that like I get to,
And
you
I will
know.
also add, you are aggressively organized as well. So
Yeah,
there's a
I mean,
there's an Excel spreadsheet or some sort of list for just about everything around.
guilty. You
Yes,
know, it's funny because the next thing on my thing it says love organization, and I'm an efficiency dork.
yes.
I
The
just
streamliner.
yeah, and um now your father loves to give me a hard time about that when I'm researching things, I get paralysis from analysis.
Sure.
Um, but when I can keep that somewhat in check, I think efficiency is huge. Like I always have a significance list that has something on it that if I can, it might take me hours up front to do whatever this item is, but it will give me time back.
Sure. It's an
And
investment.
yeah, and if I can get time back, well, I mean, that's a huge asset. So
Well, that's what they call OCD. And that's why you're such a good designer.
I won't deny that I have tendencies. But yeah, and honestly, I love decorating. It is truly something but it's been great because like I will go in phases where all of a sudden I'm like, I need to do something and I will create something. Um,
Anything else? Anything you want to showcase in the house? I
well, I'm,
for the moment, but
well, no, I'm looking at my bookcases. I don't think you've seen my bookcases since they were finished. They
did
look
you
pretty,
finish them recently?
yeah, because I got some other books and stuff from, Nemo and, and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I just keep adding to it. It's funny. I got something from mom's house the other day that got put there just today.
Nice.
But right now I'm getting to help mom because she just moved, and so trying to redecorate a new place. But it helps my brain because, as you know, we all get so focused on whatever area we're like working on all the time, and when you have something that is completely outside of that realm that you can divert, it allows your brain to recover, just like we need the rest of us to. Uh, so you can actually retain, I feel like, information. So when I go back to like looking at training and stuff, or looking at how to be a better volleyball player, or looking at how to do finances better, whatever it is I'm doing, um, being able to switch gears helps me to be able to like uh, do better at all. Because some people try to say, I tried that one semester in school, everything was on the same path, and I didn't let myself read because if I had time to read, I should be studying. And when I gave that up one year and I read like a whole series of books for that year, I had a 4.0 the whole time. And I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Right.
But it let my brain completely detach from what I was so focused on. So now I read every day something that's not educational, and then I read something educational every day too. But that way I can let my brain hit different, parts of it and let the other ones catch up, recover, process.
It's tough to juggle that. That sort of intellectual stimulation gets put on the back burner when you're in productivity mode.
Yeah. There's just, my gosh, if I had a lifetime just to read, a lifetime to play, lifetime to cook.
Well, you said that you wish there were more hours in the day.
Oh, I remember when the Twilight movie came out, I'm like, I'm so jealous. If I didn't have to sleep,
Yeah.
how much more could I accomplish?
Yeah.
But
Um, so I gave you a lot of titles today, specifically mother, wife, daughter, personal trainer, track coach, high school and collegiate track, and field record holder, interior design aficionado, and this silver medalist thing. For the mother, wife, daughter, and interior design aficionado counterparts that you have, what fitness and life advice do you have
For those groups,
for the non-athletic titles that you have?
go be awesome.
Go be awesome.
Richard, you know, I literally made a sign in our house, the main house we lived in while they grew up, that every day when they walked out the door, it said, go be off. So no matter what you're doing, and I say that to everybody, my athletes, when they're leaving, when my friends, if I give them a hug and they're leaving my house, it doesn't matter. I'm always like, go be off.
Well, there's
Like,
the also the long quote was from The Blind Side when she said to go learn something.
Okay.
That was
which
your other quote that you would use.
I'm trying to think.
You don't remember that one?
I mean, I used to always do go make good decisions from his birthday.
Oh no, but specifically you'd say learn something.
No,
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't remember that.
you know what? It's funny because earlier I was talking to your dad and I said, you know what? I said something and he started saying something. I'm like, gosh, I don't know. Maybe just like uh, you start shifting and it's like because people will quote things back to me when they say it. I'm like, oh, I did say that's for me, didn't you?
Yeah, but what they don't realize it was very specific in the moment. She
Yeah.
was basically telling you, Sawyer, go learn something, you know. So,
I've been told that through my whole life by many
Tell
people.
me like weird little. I mean, I remember when I went to school, I'd be like, go forth and be prosperous. And you're like, what
Oh, that's
is
a good one too. Yeah.
and now we're stealing lines.
oh, hey, like when Sarah first moved came to us, we were like, I want to get everybody t-shirts for Christmas. Like we speak in movie quotes because we're constantly like everything, you know.
Whether it's from Star Trek or Will Ferrell or
Oh
anything
yeah,
between.
there's always quotes. It's either a song or a movie or something.
Yep.
But you know, people know who I'm borrowing it from.
Yep. So um, that pretty much gives us a lot of the information we were looking for. Any parting words?
It's so be awesome.
Totally.
That was great. Um, thanks for hopping on. I know this was kind of short notice.
I felt I literally at the party. I was like, that someone goes, "Are you okay?" Because first I got in a chair and that was my up on my back, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna sit here." I was just trying to like go through and just like look at these, and trying to wrap my brain around some of it. Because I mean, like I said, I hadn't even thought about like what I'd done in college in a while.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna ask this, and I'm not gonna know the answer.
Well,
So
you did pretty good.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. Uh, no more parting words. Go be awesome. Live long and prosper. All that stuff.
like,
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. It was great talking to you.
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good meeting you again.
Oh,
All right. Cool. All right. See ya. Love you very much.
All right. Take
yeah.
care. I'll see you at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
See you then.
All right.
Yeah.